What's up, y'all? It's Tommy here with Everyday Finance. And in this video, I'm going to be doing a versus challenge. And this is going to be a versus challenge with two different credit monitoring apps that you're more than likely familiar with. And the two I'm talking about is going to be Credit Karma and MyFico. Now, I'm going to be breaking down which one is the best and a few tips and tricks that I recommend when you're using each one. So if that's something that interests you, be sure you stay tuned. Now, nowadays, with so many different financial companies trying to offer credit monitoring, nowadays, you'll see it from things like your bank. More than likely, most of your banks are offering you at least one of your credit scores or credit monitoring for at least one credit bureau. Or you'll even see it in things like budgeting apps, right? Pretty much everything in the finance sector, they're all trying to, be able to show you your credit score for different reasons. We can go down a rabbit hole to talk about why they do that. But the gist of that is kind of what decided for me to make this video, right? And really just touching on two of the bigger players. Now, the first one is going to be the obvious one, which is Credit Karma. They're most known for credit monitoring, right? They're one of the bigger, or if not the biggest player in the space. But a second close one is MyFico. Now, MyFico is a credit monitoring and a credit score company, if you will. They're owned by the Fair Isaac Corporation, and the Fair Isaac Corporation is actually the creator of what's called the FICO score. Now, for those of you guys who aren't familiar with the FICO score, that is actually what's used by 90% of lenders, right? So if you ever had issues where you put up, you thought that you had a 750 or something, right? And then you went to go get whether it was a mortgage or a car or auto loan, whatever it is, and you were told that your score was a lot lower, more than likely, you weren't looking at the same scoring model that the lender was, which is they typically will use the FICO scoring model, okay? Now, Credit Karma is also a credit monitoring company, but they'll provide you a different type of credit score, and they'll also be sending you offers based on your credit profile. Now, soon I'll touch on each of their different features and tell you a little bit more about what, I call the kiss of death, right? This is the one thing that you want to make sure that you avoid by any means necessary when it comes to those two, okay? But before that, I want to kind of touch on how each of these guys make money. Now, the reason why I do this is because I think it's important for you to understand how companies make their money, because you want to make sure that your interests are aligned with the company's interests, right? For example, there's companies out there, we can look at debt collectors, right? Debt collectors make money by getting you to pay, whether it benefits you or not. So in those scenarios, I try to make sure that either your interests are aligned with the other company, or you can find a way to align both of your interests, because then it's beneficial for both parties, right? And so that's kind of why I want to touch on this here. Now, MyFico, the main ways they make money, of course, they have other ways besides this, but the main two ways that I found are making money by their credit monitoring offerings. They actually charge for credit monitoring, right? And they'll charge you about $40 per month for you to be able to see every bureau every single month. Okay, so that pretty much means you pay $40 and you'll be able to see all three credit bureaus every single month. They'll constantly be updating those credit reports. Now, another way they make money is companies actually pay them for scores and for your credit reports. Now, this is like, for example, when you're going to, anytime someone says a lender says they need to pull your credit report, more than likely they're going to pull your report, and your scores, they're going to pay from MyFico for them. Okay, so that's another revenue stream that they have. More than likely, I wouldn't be surprised if they make a lot more money from doing that than they do from offering credit monitoring, because I know they're not the number one choice when it comes to credit monitoring, just due to their price point, right? Their pricing point. Now, besides that, there is Credit Karma, right? Credit Karma pretty much makes all the money from affiliate offers, at least as of late, when I've always been keeping track of them, right? I know nowadays they're trying to expand their offering and offering a lot more different types of products, but the gist of it was they made money from affiliate offers. And the way that worked was basically they just recommend different credit products to you based on your credit profile, right? And so if you sign up for anything through their platform, let's say they say, oh, you might be able to get approved for this credit card, and you click on that offer and then you apply, then they'll get paid. Now, before, the way it used to work was they would only get paid if you got approved for that credit line. But I'd venture to guess now, especially from what I've been reading online and just kind of how the industry works, that they now are so big that they can get paid just by referring people, right? So just by you clicking over and even just applying for the card, they're going to get paid whether you get approved or not. Now, I mentioned that just to, kind of really hit on that point and make sure you understand about, back to what I was saying about the interest, right? Are your interests aligned with them? And that might be something that you want to, keep in the back of your mind whenever if you're seeing offers, just knowing that, hey, you might not get approved for those offers. You might take a hit to your credit. Is it really worth it? Really take the time to know if it's worth it for you to apply for something like that. Now, when it comes to the kiss of death, it has to do with your credit score. Okay. Now, I want to harp on this because I think this is going to be a main point, right? With your credit score, what is more accurate versus the two? It's gonna be MyFico, hands down. The reason being is they actually own the FICO score, the scoring model that all 90% of lenders are using. So just by definition, if you're looking at your information on MyFico, it's gonna be, the score you're gonna see is gonna be a lot more accurate than you would on something like Credit Karma. To be quite frank, Credit Karma scores are wholly inaccurate. Okay, that pretty much none of the lenders are using the Vantage score, which is a scoring model that Credit Karma is using. And I've heard scenarios where people would say that their score was showing a 700, right? And so they decided, hey, this is a good time for me to try to see if I can get a mortgage or something and be able to move into a house. And then whenever they went to a mortgage lender, the mortgage lender pulls their credit and says that they're at a 620, for example, right? And it sounds drastic, right? 80 points off, but that's quite, like, that's something that's seen a lot. Okay, it's definitely not a surprise to see that your Credit Karma score is 100 points different from your FICO score, right? So that's something that you want to keep in the back of your mind, right? And I try to mention that because I think that it really is the kiss of death whenever you're just looking at Credit Karma, because you want to see where how your score is moving up and down. Going off of that, I think Credit Karma is more beneficial, and I'll explain this more later, but I think it's beneficial more for their actual credit monitoring. And with that point, it brings me to another criteria I look at with both of these guys, which is the credit monitoring aspect of it, right? In the last section we talked about, which was focusing on the credit score, MyFico is a clear winner, right? Just because they're actually showing you the scores that banks and lenders are going to see, right? Now this one, when it comes to the actual credit monitoring, I'm gonna have to give this one to Credit Karma. Okay, I think that they truly do win in this category. Now they don't charge for their credit monitoring, right? And on top of that, they're updating pretty often. I've seen sometimes it just, like, especially back when I used to use them, I would see that sometimes they'd be like almost in real time, right? In terms of the kind of information that you're seeing, right? And so them compared to like a company like MyFico, if you're just looking for credit monitoring, right? Or you really just you're looking just to see, if things are reporting to your credit, then Credit Karma is not a bad idea or a bad company to use, right? If you're strictly looking for that credit monitoring, if you want to, for example, see what's popping up on your credit, see if there's any types of fraud things that I've been posting, or if any types of, maybe you have a lot of credit accounts and you want to make sure that there's no late payments, this is going to be a great option for you. You really can't do any better than companies like Credit Karma or Credit Sesame, things like that, right? Those companies where, they make money showing you credit offers. And because of that, they want to make sure that you don't have to pay for any of their offer, or you don't have to pay to use their service, because they need you to make money off of you, right? So to make sure that your interests are aligned, what do? You can still use them for the credit monitoring, but if I was in that situation, I would strictly use them just for credit monitoring. I would do my own research when it came to what kind of offers that I think that I could get approved for, right? Now, before I tell you the combination of companies that I typically recommend or typically use, let's first talk about who the actual winner is in this regard, okay? Now, when it comes to the true winners, it really just depends on what you're looking for, right? If you're looking for credit monitoring, like literally you just want to make sure that there's no, fraudulent information, or you want to make sure that you can see what's reporting on your credit report, then Credit Karma is going to be the winner in my book, okay? But if you want to be able to see your actual credit scores, like the scores that pretty much majority of the finance industry cares about, pretty much all the banks, all the lenders care about, then you're going to have to go with MyFico. right? As they're gonna actually show you your true FICO score. So that kind of gives you two paths you can go based off of what exactly you're looking for out of your credit monitoring software. Okay. Now, when it comes to my recommended combination, I actually use, two softwares, or recommend that people use two softwares, especially if you're constantly applying for credit or you have so many credit accounts that it's hard to keep track of all of them, right? Then I typically recommend you go with a company called MyScoreIQ, which I've shot videos of before. I'll link to it down in the description as well, and Credit Karma. Okay. The reason why I recommend these two is because it's the cheapest combination. MyScoreIQ and Credit Karma. Obviously, Credit Karma is free. MyScoreIQ, the benefit is, they will show you the main set of your FICO scores. They're going to show you your main FICO scores. Okay, that's the first benefit I found on them. The second is that they show you all three of your credit reports on what's called like a tri-merge report. Okay, so basically what this means is it's easy to see how an account is reporting across all three credit bureaus. And the real benefit behind that is if you're ever needing to dispute any accounts or, dispute any negative or inaccurate information, you're able to see how each account is reporting across the board. And that's going to easily show you where you can start disputing to improve your credit. So I'll link to all these, link to Credit Karma, MyScoreIQ, even MyFico down below. If you want to learn more about MyScoreIQ, I'll link to the video I shot about it down below as well. Okay. And that's going to be pretty much the gist of it for this video, guys. Hopefully this has given you a good starting point when it comes to, fixing your credit and at least just monitoring your credit. So if you have any other kind of questions, whether it's regarding this video or you have any other credit videos you'd like to see, please throw them down in the comments below and I'll be sure to try to shoot those videos. Also, if you are, let's say you're looking to fix your credit and you have other things on there, like for example, collections, charge-offs, late payments, inquiries, whatever it is, I've shot videos on pretty much all of those and I'll link to that down in the description below as well. And also lastly, guys, be sure you throw a like on this video if you found this information valuable, and also hit the subscribe button down below so you don't miss any of my future videos. Okay, so that's gonna be pretty much the gist of it, guys. I appreciate y'all taking the time to watch and I'll see you at the next one. Peace.